I know. I know, Roger. It's gone. It's gone. It's passed away. My heroic iPhone, after fighting to the end, has finally given up its little iPhone ghost. Hello, my friends. Hello, and welcome once again to the tragedy-filled Vaughn Manor, where my iPhone died. My iPhone died. My constant companion for the past several years. I don't even know how many years I've had this iPhone. It's been a long time though. I can't even remember which iPhone this is, but I can't check because it's dead. It's dead, but it fought to the end. So there were plenty of signs. There were plenty of signs that it was reaching the end of its life. It kept overheating for no reason. Like, you'd touch it and it was like super hot. I'm surprised it didn't explode. It didn't explode though, and it didn't catch anything on fire. And then, it would just do weird things, and sometimes it would suddenly slow down for no reason. It was, but mostly it worked. Mostly it worked. And so I knew I needed to get a new phone. I knew I did. But I resisted because, well, I'm lazy. And also because I have a great affection for this phone. This is the phone that I filmed every single one of my videos on for this, except for this one. This one I didn't, obviously not, but except for this video, every video that I filmed for this dopey channel, I filmed with this little beat up and it is pretty beat up. Like, it has this old case, and I dropped this like a million times. I don't even know how many times I've dropped this. I'm surprised that the screen isn't broken. It is scratched, but it's not broken. But like, I've had this for years. I've had it, and it's probably well beyond its lifetime, because iPhones, they're even worse than dog years. So in iPhone years, this is probably 100 years old. I don't know. Anyway, it finally died. And tragically, it died before I could make my last video. It died actually at work, which meant I had to go and do something after work, which I always resist. There's lots of things I need to do often after work, but I resist doing them. But I had to do this. I had to get another phone. Now, I knew as it was dying, that I was in trouble, because you don't want to wait until your phone is actually dead before you get a new iPhone. That's a bad idea. But Roger and I, we went down and got a new iPhone. And then we had to go through and it was, it's a new iPhone, which I don't even know. It's the 14, I think it's the iPhone 14 Pro. Is it? I don't know. It's new. It's new, but it's not new. It's not the newest, I guess. I guess there's a 15 that's either out or coming out. I don't even remember. I don't keep up with tech stuff, obviously. I don't have an iPad. I literally use this. I use this for everything. I don't have a computer at home. Work, yeah, but at home, no. I don't have a computer at home. I don't have a laptop. I don't have an iPad. I do have a dopey Amazon pad, but it's not, it's no iPad. But this is basically it that I actually use like all the time. So it was rough losing this. So we had to go and get a new one. We got this 14 Pro, and the clerk at the place, he's like, well, we only have it in gold. And I'm like, we'll take a gold iPhone. And then he brought it out, and it wasn't even real gold. It was fool's gold. Roger spotted it right away. He said, this isn't real gold. What are you trying to push on us? So Roger ate him. But, I mean, he had it coming, let's face it. But I do have this new iPhone that's pretend gold. And we'll see how it goes. I think I've got everything on there that I need. It seems to be filming right now. We'll see if I can upload everything correctly and there's no issues. There's been a lot of issues trying to put all the stuff on the phone the way it was supposed to be, you know? But everything seems to be working. So that is the great tragedy. And I'm not sure what to do with this. It's heroic. Like I said, it fought its way to the end. So it probably deserves like a Viking funeral. I should probably put it on a little boat and light the boat on fire. That's probably dangerous. You probably shouldn't light iPhones on fire. So that's probably a bad idea. And burying it is probably not good either, right? That's probably bad for the environment. I guess I'll just put it in the great tomb of the Vaughns. It'll go in the great tomb of the Vaughns so that, you know, we can be interred together. All right, so that's the big tragedy of this week. There are other things going on. This is a booktube channel after all. And I did finish a book. I finished Howard Andrew Jones, The City of Marble and Blood, Sword and Sorcery book by Howard Andrew Jones, The Chronicles of Hanover, Volume 2, which was every bit as good as The Chronicles of Hanover, Volume 1. It was a lot of fun. It was action-packed, full of adventure and daring do. So this was good. I highly recommend it. But there is a bad side to this, and the bad side is that the next one is not available yet. So Howard Andrew Jones, you have to write faster. Write fast. He already writes fast because his first two books came out really one right after the other, and I'm sure his third one is well on its way to being completed. Because he's quick, but you know, you need to be quicker because I want to read the next one. Instead, I'm reading Wilkie Collins' No Name, which is Roger's choice for December for Roger's Cheap Old Book Club. This is not full of adventure and action and daring do. No, it is not. It's not bad though, except in little bits here and there. Here's the thing about it's Wilkie Collins, and so I should have expected a Wilkie Collins book. The problem is that this actually has a lot of good ideas in it, and some of it is really good. But Wilkie Collins did this Wilkie Collins thing that he does, or he's doing that so far in the book, and he actually says, hey, I'm going to do this thing in this book I'm writing in the introduction, which basically has all this terrible stuff happen to his main character regarding, you know, death and tragedy and loss. But he wants to throw some comedy in there to lighten it up, you know. So he has this like there was this whole in the beginning of this book there was this whole play that, well, like this private family play that they did, and it was lame, and it took forever, and it was supposed to be funny, and there are other moments that are supposed to be humorous, mostly involving, you know, the eccentric characters, the absurd eccentric characters that Wilkie Collins has to throw in his books. He did that thing, that Victorian thing. But Wilkie Collins really, he always had those extremely eccentric characters he would throw in there for comedy relief. And I just think this book would have been better if it had a more serious tone, and then if that was lightened up a bit, and maybe it will be. It's not bad. Actually, there's actually a lot of good stuff in this as well, and a lot of compelling stuff. It's just kind of uneven. But, you know, it's a Wilkie Collins book. I should have expected it to be a Wilkie Collins book. So we'll see how it goes. But the thing is that it's very long. It's like 600 pages long. And what I really want to do is get to this book, The Anubis Gates by Tim Powers. My friend Justin, who used to have a booktube channel called This Just In, he says he stopped making videos because, you know, life got in the way. But he says he'll make another video if I read this book. So I pretty much want to read this book, so he makes another video. But I have to read this Wilkie Collins book it has to be by January, because in January I'm reading The Chronicles of Amber, which is gigantic. So will I get a chance to read this? I don't know, because I also have to read John Wyndham's The Midwich Cuckoos for the winter of Windom. I heard a booktuber, who was it, who called Windom. Is he John Windom or is he John Windom? I thought he was Windom, but is he Windom? It's, you know, I don't know. See, I see all these authors, and until I got onto BookTube, I've never heard any of their names pronounced. So, is it Windom or Windom? I don't know. Anyway, I have to read this book for the Winter of Windom, which is a BookTube event that was created by Books, Songs, and Other Magic, where you read a John Wyndham or Windom book every month. And this is this month's book, The Midwich Cuckoo, so I have to read that. But, I'm stuck reading this big long book. So there's that. There's a little bit of tragedy there as well, in that I don't know that I'll have time to read what I want to read this month before it's Ambuary. We'll see. A good thing happened though. And that is Steve Donoghue sent me a package full of pulpy stuff. I already opened it, so it's not going to be like an unboxing, but he sent me the rest. Well, not the rest. Altogether, he sent me 6 books in the Spider series. Has the house name of Grant Stockbridge there. I'm blanking out on the fella who actually wrote The Spider, though, and it was not the name Grant Stockbridge. I'll look it up and I'll put it right here. Since it's early in the morning at this point and I can't remember. Anyway, he sent me a bunch of Spider books from the Brattle. He sent me 6 books out of the 8 books I think that they published in this series. This was published by Carroll and Graff. And so now I have 6 books and they're all from Steve Donoghue. So this is the Spider number 1, which has The Secret City of Crime, The Spider and the Pain Master. Got Spider number 2. Look at that cover. This actually depicts the Spider as he actually appeared in the pulp novels. Usually on the covers they did a toned down, handsome version of the Spider, when really the Spider in the books look ghastly and awful like this character here. Anyway, this is number 2. This has Dictator of the Damned and The Milltown Massacres. The Spider novels, man, they had great titles. They were awesome. These old 1930s pulps. And so this is the 3rd one. And so you see on this cover that it has the Spider all looking like a normal guy, because they had to tone it down. You couldn't have the horrible Spider with the fangs and everything on the covers, apparently they felt. This 3rd volume has Death's Crimson Juggernaut. That sounds good. I wonder what Death's Crimson Juggernaut is. And the Red Death Rain. The Red Death Rain. Damn, that sounds bad. Then we have number 4, which has Death Reign of the Vampire King. And The Pain Emperor. A lot of pain in the Spider books. The Pain Emperor. Which isn't quite as good a title as Death Reign of the Vampire King. That's a really good title. Then we have the 5th book in the series of these reprints. We've got Judgment of the Damned and Master of the Flaming Horde. It's a flaming horde. I wonder what that means. They're all on fire? I don't know. Master of the Flaming Horde. That's in the 5th one. And then I have the 6th one, which he sent. Thank you, Steve. This has Slaves of the Laughing Death and Satan's Murder Machines. Satan has some murder machines in this one. And this one also depicts the Spider as he actually appeared. There were only a few magazine covers where they did that. Most of the time, they felt that he just was too horrible looking with his fangs and crazy hair. And so they just put out like the handsome version, right? Although most of these reprints are reprinting the covers where he was, ghastly and horrible looking. So that's kind of cool. Usually on the covers he looked like that. So that's the Spider stuff that Steve sent me. But he also sent me some other pulpy things. He sent me 3 copies of this little magazine, High Adventure. Apparently there were a lot of them. This is number 30. This is the 30th issue of High Adventure. Has Drums of Destruction, which was part of a longer saga, I think. Yeah, this is Operator number 5. And this magazine, High Adventure, just reproduces the artwork and everything to these old pulp magazines. This is Operator number 5, and there was this whole long saga, multiple novel-length stories were part of the Purple Invasion saga. And this is one of them. This is Drums of Destruction. And then we've got High Adventure. This is an all-detective special. And so it has a bunch of detective stories in it. Donald Wandry has a book in here. Donald Wandry has Bride of the Rats. Bride of the Rats. That's cool. There's a story called Tomb for the Living, and the author's name is Justin Case. That's I doubt that's his real name. I don't think Justin Case is a real. I think that might be a pseudonym. I'm just guessing. But it's Tomb for the Living. Tomb for the Living. So that's the special detective one. And then we've got High Adventure presents The Mysterious Wu Fang. The Mysterious Wu Fang. So this must be a novel that has a story that's inspired by the whole yellow peril racist trope. And there is Wu Fang in The Case of the Black Lotus by Robert J. Hogan. Things are looking bad for that fella on the cover. So pulpy goodness from Steve Donoghue. Thanks, Steve, for sending those things to me. They brightened up my week of tragedy. There's also this BookTube event going on that I wanted to take part in, where you clean up it's like you just read a bunch of stuff that's been lingering on your Kindle for years or your Kobo for years. But it takes place in January, so I can't do it because I've got a huge book to read in January, so I can't clean you up, Kindle. You're just going to have to stay a filthy mess. Oh, the misery here at Vaughn Manor. Anyway, I'll shut up now because I'm just babbling on. I will see you next time.